Good evening, everyone. It's a few days before Pesach. I hope everyone is preparing for Pesach, not only cleaning the chametz from the house, cleaning it from the heart. That's what it's really, cleaning it from the heart, cleaning all the show-off, all the fake lifestyle, all the other things that we have to clean. Now it's the time to do it. Because the Gemara says, "Benisan nigalu, benisan atidim ligael." In Nisan there was the salvation. In Nisan, it's very high probability that the salvation will take place again. So if it will happen in a week from now, the question we have to ask: are we ready for it? If a person is 80% ready, he has a chance to jump on a train and survive. And if he's only 40% ready, you know, when you get 40 on your test, nobody remember you got anything. Because nobody will remember you. You understand? So, I remember when I was a student, up to a certain age, I was a very good student. Later on, my mind was somewhere else. So when I went to the test, I just decided, since I don't know anything, so let me just write something. You know, like pretend I'm Shakespeare or something. So I write. Sometimes it worked. The teacher was so tired of reading, he gave me something, 65, something. I said, I got 65, I don't know one word. But sometimes it didn't work. So I had one teacher, he was very sharp. So he used to write, 0, next time don't waste my time. I got angry. 0, don't waste my time. With Hashem, it will be the same. Just because you think you do something, if it's not proper, it's 0. It's going to be 0. We read in Haftarah, mamash 2 days ago, we started Sefer Vayikra. I once said in one of the lectures, if you remember, Sefer Vayikra, it's only 1 month. That's it. From Rosh Chodesh Nisan to Rosh Chodesh Iyar, in the second year from the Exodus of Egypt. We came out of Egypt, we built the Mishkan a year later, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and it was all, the entire Torah Kohanim, the entire instructions of the Kohanim, which is Sefer Vayikra, describe a period of only 1 month in history. Just to give you an idea, Parashat Bereshit, the first parasha in the Torah, not the whole book of Bereshit, Parashat Bereshit, it's 1400 years. 1 chapter, 1400 years. The entire book of Vayikra, 1 month. You understand? And then, the entire Sefer Bereshit, 2,200 years. Sefer Bereshit. You understand? So, Baruch Hashem, we started Sefer Vayikra, and in the Haftarah, it starts like this. Am zu yatzarti li, teilati esaperu. Hashem says, it's a very, very powerful sentence. He said, I created this nation. Whose nation is talking about? The Indians in Connecticut. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the nation of Israel. In case you don't believe me, the next verse will verify it. It's Am zu yatzarti li. This nation I created for myself. Teilati esaperu. What's their purpose? To tell the world my praises. To tell the world who am I, who I am. That's the job of the Jew in this world, Kiddush Hashem. Somebody asks you what's the purpose of life? My job is to bring lots of honor to the Creator of the world in the eyes of 7 billion goyim who lives around me, and Jews. Some Jews are like goyim. They have no idea what they live for. So they are included in it. We have to sanctify the name of Hashem and His Torah in the eyes of people. And who doesn't know that the best way to set an example for people is like the way you behave? If you give a whole lecture and you should not smoke, and then you smoke, what the lecture is for? Nobody would listen to you. Only listen to you. It's called in Hebrew, na'eh doresh, na'eh mekayem. Na'eh doresh, you speak very beautiful. Na'eh mekayem means you have to also keep what you say. you're not keeping, what's the point of all this drasha? And this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, ולרשע אמר השם, מה לך לספר חוקיי? And to the wicked person, Hashem complained, he said, why did you choose to be the one who tell my laws? You're not the one who should tell the world my laws. First, you obey my laws yourself, then it will be permitted to you to teach others my laws. But if you yourself smoke, you want to give a seminar how dangerous it is to smoke? If you're a thief, you want to teach people how you should not steal, etc., etc. So this is the way it works. So what comes the next verse? ולא אותי קראת יעקב, כי יגעת בישראל. You're not really calling me, Yaakov is Jacob, the nation of Israel, כי יגעת בישראל. You are tired of me, or tired from me, depending how you want to translate it, the nation of Israel. So the complaint of God to us is, it says, you are not really calling me. You're not really connecting with me because you are tired of me. You're not interested in me. If you're interested in me, then you scream to me, I'll do everything you want. This is what it says, Karov Hashem lechol korav. Hashem is close to all the ones who call him. But it says right after that, lechol asher yikra'u be'emet. But only to the ones who will call him for real. Which means you can stand in a synagogue, even on Yom Kippur, and pray and say things to Hashem. And everyone will stand next to you and say, wow, look how beautiful he pray, he even sing. But in reality, his mind is in a football game tomorrow. In a football game. You know? Why? Or in his business, or in his vacation. That's where his mind is. And right after that, a few verses down, it says like this, Hoga'atani ba'avonotecha. I'm sick and tired from your sins. But what sins? Avon means intentional sins. Chata, a person makes a chet, it's not intentional. So it says here, Vadetani bechatotecha. You make me work for nothing with all your non-intentional sins. And what comes right after that? Ve'ogatani ba'avonotecha. And you make me sick and tired from your intentional sins. So the question is, why the language is changing? When he's speaking about our non-intentional sins, he say, Evadetani, you made me work for nothing. What kind of work we made Hashem do? Let's see in a minute. Ogatani ba'avonotecha. You made me tired of your intentional sins. So the intentional sins, the only way to fix it is to do tshuva. A korban cannot fix it. If a person violates Shabbat not intentional, he didn't know Shabbat, he didn't know it's not allowed, he has to bring a sacrifice, and the sacrifice with his vidui, when his confession, hopefully will erase his sin. But if he violates Shabbat on purpose, and he brings a sacrifice is nothing. It won't help him, because it was an intentional sin. The sacrifice can only help in a case like this, that when it was a not intentional sin. Still a big burden and a headache to bring a sacrifice. Remember, there's no cars, no trains. You have to go all the way to Jerusalem with your donkey, climb all the way to the mountains of Jerusalem. If you've been in Israel, you see how huge is the mountains. Try to imagine Jerusalem without a beautiful road that you drive with your nice car with the air condition all the way and you're there in an hour. No. Try to imagine like you see on the side of the road. The rocks, the trees, going up, down, then climbing. They had roads like this. What do you think? With the donkey. 2 weeks, 1 week until they get there. Finally, he gets to Bet HaMikdash. Has to go to the market, buy a goat, bring the goat. The goat doesn't want to go. He's pulling him, picking up on his head, going like this in the street, everyone looking at him, a stranger walking in the streets here with a goat. It's a sinner. It's an embarrassment. Imagine he's a fancy lawyer, he comes with his tie and the 20, he cuts a goat like this. You know, I was in Arizona, so I have a friend over there. So I walked into his minivan. I sat in a minivan. I have very good sense of smell, Baruch Hashem. Which means when I sit in yeshiva, if somebody come from outside, from 50 yards away from the yeshiva, I already know someone with a cigarette is coming. 50 yards away. I already know in 1 minute somebody with a cigarette would walk in after he throws his cigarette, and then a smoker walks in. It's a sense of smell. So when I walked into his car, I said to him, there was sheep in this car, huh? Goats. He said, how do you know? I said, but it was 3 weeks ago. I said to him, yeah, you had goats here, I smell it. You know, in Israel, I don't know, maybe, in Israel you have the Gashashim. You know the Gashashim? The Bedouin who lived in the desert, the Israeli army used their service. Why? Because since they live in the desert, they have skills that people from the city don't have. It's very interesting. The Gemara say that the Gemara describe all kinds of people, nations. The Gemara say the feet is different, the color of the skin. So it's very interesting that a person his image is to match where he lives, to match the area where he lives. You know, the skin, how thick it is, how soft it is, the shape of the feet. Because they walk in the desert, the Gemara gives an explanation why they look different. So it's very interesting because also the genes of a person is changing according to the air that he breathes in every different place that he on earth. So if you live in China, after a few generations, without mixing with the Chinese, you become yellow and your eyes starting to look like them. And if you are blonde, slowly you become black, straight hair. You never see Chinese blue eyes, you know, curly blonde hair and blue eyes. Maybe if his mother is from Sweden, yes. But I'm talking Mr. Lee and Mrs. Lee, you know, they had a baby. Yeah, there's no accident. It's not going to be blonde. They all look the same. So after a few generations, if you move them from there and you put them in Scandinavia, slowly they're becoming more and more, you know, blonde, and the eyes are starting to become darker until they become blue. Or the other way around, right? So it's very interesting that Hashem made the world that in different places on the world, the area will change your physical. Very interesting. And this is a scientific discovery that was discovered in the previous century. The Zohar already spoke about it 2,000 years ago. But the scientists discovered that about 110 years ago, which is also very impressive. So the prophet Yeshaya is speaking in the name of Hashem, and he said, and he says like this, you're getting me to a point with all these intentional sins that I'm already tired of you. How does it make Hashem tired? Hashem is nothing physical. Only physics can get tired. So we're talking spiritually tired. What we call mentally exhausted, that I have children like this. One of the claims that the Goyim has against us, especially the Arabs, is God gave everything to the Jews and they betrayed him so many times, therefore they're not important anymore. Logically, thinking logically, it's a very strong claim. How many chances a boy can get from his father? 1, 2, 5, 10, 50. Eventually the father get tired of him. You know, one time he released him on bail, second time, third time, 10. After 20 times he said to the cop, keep him over there. Let him stay there. You know, they have a good joke. You know, in Israel they make a lot of jokes. So one guy, one very stingy father, his son got kidnapped. So the kidnappers call him, they say, hey, we want $3 million to release your son. So he said, can I ask you a few questions before? He said, tell me, 3 days he's by you, did you feed him? He said, yeah, he ate very good. Did you make sure he has a blanket and something to wear? Yes. Does he have a shower? Yes. Can you come take his second brother? Take my other son also. Now, it says like this. We're going to go now into the next parasha, and this is what we're going to read in the Haftarah. This time is Prophet Yirmiyahu. Now it was Yeshaya, now it's Yirmiyah. It says like this. When I took your fathers, your parents, out of Egypt, Hashem says, I did not command them to sacrifice olah vezvachim. The point wasn't to take them out to sacrifice all kinds of animals for me. It's a part of the Torah, but don't ever think that that was the intention here. What did I really want from them? This is what I ordered them. זה הדבר אשר ציוויתי אותם לאמור. שמעו בקולי. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to my command. והייתי לכם לאלוקים, and I will be your God. Don't kiss the mezuzah. You're not impressing me. Go like this. Comes to the shul, 15 minutes, like the Western Wall. And then go out, look around, start his car on Shabbat, and drive home. Hashem say, I'm not interested in your sacrifices. Sacrifices in our day means prayers. Because it says, V'neshalma parim sfatenu. It reminds me, today I got a very interesting email from Germany. Very amazing. Maybe I can make a movie out of this email. No, I'm not joking. I'll tell you briefly. It's a very long email. Usually now I'm already at the point, when I see an email, 50 lines, that's it. I don't have the strength to read it. I just skip to the next one. If you want me to read your email, make sure it's not more than 5 lines. So I read the first 2-3 lines, I see where it's going. If I see it's going to be a waste of time, even though I don't know, maybe it can make a positive turn. Right away I go to the next one because I have 200 to 300 emails a day. I'm not going to sit all day from morning to night just reading. So I got to be productive. But this one started very good, and I know it's going to a good direction. So I read, I don't read it in one shot. I read, then I do something, then I read more. In the end, by the end of the day, I put it together. So what does it say over there? That there was one guy from Romania, he's Christian, and a girl from Romania, Christian. The girl, she's in a very, very Orthodox church, which means very, very religious Christian church. That over there the women are covered, their head is covered, they pray all day and all night. They come at night every day for service in a church to pray. Sounds like Mea Sha'arim. You know, Mea Sha'arim. If you wouldn't know a Christian, you just take one word out of this email, it sounds someone from Mea Sha'arim sent this email. So she meets this guy. Look, in a world of 7 billion people, what is the chance that a very fanatic Christian girl that belongs to a very ultra fanatic church, how many churches like this you have that are so into religion and prayers, that she would meet a guy somewhere that will be from her same nationality and also in this level? It's already an amazing shidduch, no? Now wait. What happens later, that the guy and the girl, they got married, and they both very, very strong in Christianity. And then one day the guy discovered the debate that I had. And he discovered that he knew that his mother is Jewish, but his father was Christian, but he was raised as a Christian. So he knew that he's a Jew, but he was practicing Christianity. But then the debate came to him. with the internet, Hashem directs it to whoever he wants to hear. So after he watched the debate, he realized it's all nonsense, Christianity. He realized right away. So slowly, he started to change. After a few weeks, he started to put kippah, tzitzit, starting to live according to the Torah. But he married this woman, which is very fanatic in Christianity. So she writes in the email, I got very nervous and scared about the changes that he's going through. So for 2 years, he's afraid to tell her about the truth. For 2 years. One day, he gets his guts, and he takes her and he makes her watch the debate. And she writes, I got so scared. When I saw it, I realized that basically all my life was a lie. All these efforts, all these things was all nonsense. So she's starting to change herself, and then she finds out that her mother is also Jewish. You believe this? 2 Jews that don't know they're Jewish. The parents never told, he knew, his mother told him that she's Jewish. But her mother never told her she's Jewish. Only after she discovered Judaism, she found out that her mother is also Jewish. So such a huge ocean, one fish from Alaska and one fish from Israel, somewhere met in the middle of the oceans, from billions of fish, and somehow they both the same. That's what the Gemara say, אפילו ממזר בצד אחד של העולם, או ממזרת בצד השני של העולם, הקדוש ברוך הוא brings them into one place and they meet. An illegitimate boy and an illegitimate girl that they both in a different sides of the world, and they cannot marry anyone besides the same kind like them. What is the odds to find mamzer will find a mamzeret in a normal way? It's almost zero. It's almost no chance. Somehow Hashem make them find each other out of nowhere, surrounded by millions, and they meet each other and they get married. Not chas v'shalom that this couple is mamzerim, but the idea is the same, that you isolated among millions that are not like you, and the chance that you will find the only one that is like you, what is the chance? And that's how it happens, and it happens again and again and again. It's amazing. So Hashem said like this. Listen, every word here, it's life and death for eternity, not for 70 years. Listen good. It's all divine words. It said, this is what I order your parents, your fathers. What? Listen to me. Listen to my commands. I will be your God, and you will be my nation. And you will follow my way, my path, that I order you. And now comes the best part. Lema'an yetav lachem. That I will reward you for that. Not for free. Nobody does anything for free in Judaism. Remember, nothing is for free. Nothing. No matter what you did, every word of prayer, every step towards the synagogue, every morning you get up, every tzedakah you did, every donation you gave, even though right now it doesn't look that you benefit from it, better. If you benefit right away, it's not a good sign. If you give money and right away Hashem send you lots of money in return, not such a good sign. But if everything is as usual, you give, and you still struggle, and you have all these problems, it's a very good sign. Why is it? Because the Parashat Va'etchanan says very clearly, the ones I love, I delay the reward. The one I hate, I pay immediately. So which category you want? You want to give $1,000 donation and tomorrow morning find $2,000 in your mailbox, but to be in a category that Hashem is basically put an X on you? Or you want to give $1,000 and lose tomorrow $2,000, but to be in a category of the lovers of Hashem, and the billions will follow one day. Will follow. When? Another 20 years, another 10 years. We don't know exactly when, but for sure it will. Because when Hashem promised, that's it. It's guaranteed. It's wired. It was wired already. When it will hit your bank account, Hashem only knows. But it's just a matter of time. So this is it. It says, I'm the strict God who pay my lovers that keep my mitzvot for 1,000 generations. and pay my haters cash to their face to get rid of them. I will not delay their payment. I will pay them cash instantly to get rid of them. It could be better, more clear than this. Those who I don't like, if they do something good, I pay them right away. I don't want to owe you. Those who I like, I reserve the huge reward for them for the time to come. So this is what it says. If you follow my path and listen to me, not just, I'm religious in my heart, Rabbi. I'm religious in my heart. Someone that is religious in his heart is worse than someone that is not religious at all. Remember this. Someone is complete rock. No religious in his heart, no religious in his action. Nothing. And someone is religious in his heart is much worse. Because of being religious in your heart, knowing the truth, and don't do anything, that's much worse than someone who is like a bomb. Yes, much worse. So saying, don't look at me like this. I'm a great believer. Great believer? And you behave like this? What kind of a believer is that? So it says like this, from the day that your parents came out of Mitzrayim until this day, I kept sending you prophets to warn you to return from your bad ways, but no one listens to me. You decide to go your way, did not open their ears to listen to my warnings, and they were very stubborn, and did even worse than what their parents did. Not only they did not return, they actually made more sins than the previous ones. And I spoke to them all these words, and they did not listen. And then Hashem said to the prophet, and you should tell them, this generation that did not listen to the voice of God, and did not learn the warnings and the edicts, and lost their faith, and was cut out of their mouth, which means the emunah that was in their mouth in the past is basically disappeared, and did the bad in the eyes of God. And now he gives an example. Listen good now. Listen good. This is a very big musar for us to learn. He said, one of the things that God got very angry at them, it's not the music. The music didn't get him angry. It got me angry, not him. No, that's okay. So it says like this. It says that they used to take their children to a place called Gay Ben Hinnom. Sounds like Gehenom, hell. But it's called Gay Ben Hinnom. What's this place? It's like a valley. It was a deep place, a valley, open space. And they used to have idols over there. And they used to take their children. Now there's an argument between Chazal, what exactly they used to do over there. If they actually killed the babies, if they actually killed the babies, or they just made the baby go through the fire, like this. You know how you do Havdalah? There's always a wise kid that comes and he goes like this to the fire. You know that? How can it not happen? It has to be. If it's not this one, it's this one, it's the guest. The fire is on, he has to go like this. And then the baby learns from him, but the baby is a little bit slower. So they used to take these babies and pass it in a fire like this. Or they burn it in a fire. It's an argument what exactly they used to do. So we see here that the people were looking for religion. Who would be so stupid to take his new baby and burn him to death? Or even just pass him in a fire to burn him a little bit? Who would do such a thing without religion? So that means they're willing to be religious to the highest level, to kill their children. What's the difference between them and Avraham Avinu? Who are they sacrificing the baby to? That's the difference. To JC or to Hashem? To Buddha or to Hashem? To Muhammad or to Hashem? So all these sacrifices of these Arabs and the Christians and the Buddhists is all go to the garbage. Nothing, no reward whatsoever. Needless to say, the Jews that go to a foreign god, a fake god, not only it doesn't help them, they get a huge punishment for that, as we're going to see. But it's not even impressive that they're willing to kill their children for some kind of a god when it's not the real truth. And that happens in Judaism a lot. You have Orthodox Jews who does a lot of things, but not everything is welcomed by Hashem. They kill themselves sometimes, but Hashem is not interested in that. Fasting too much, doing all kinds of strange things, all kinds of things. And in the end, Hashem said, that's not what I wanted from you. What's the amal? There's machloket in a Gemara, what a person has to do all his life. To pray all day or to learn Torah all day. Adam la'amal yulad. The Chachamim had an argument in the Talmud, what kind of amal? To pray and praise Hashem all day or to learn Torah all day. And what's the verdict, the halacha, the psak? Adam la'amal, amal Torah. That's the halacha. Therefore, if a person wants to pray to Hashem all day on the expense of the Torah, יצא שכרו בהפסדו. He lose more than he gain. He lose more than he gain. You may say, how can a person who pray 10 hours a day can lose? We're not talking someone who does nothing, not learning and not praying. We're talking now someone who wants to be a servant of Hashem. So he prays all day. Like some places, they pray in Shabbat Shachrit 6 hours. There's no time to learn. Then by the time they finish, they eat quickly, mincha, eat quickly, Suda Shlishit, Arvit, the day is over. No time to learn. All day they sing and pray. But what is Hashem really interested in? He's interested in our prayers, of course. But he's more interested in learning Torah. Even a person read Tehillim or learn Gemara, what's a higher level? Gemara, it's much higher level. If, for instance, today his mind is not working, he had a trauma, who knows what, it's very hard for him to focus, he can stay and read Tehillim, cry a little bit to Hashem, it's good. But if he can focus and learn Torah, even the Torah, the higher level and the more difficult it is, the more reward you get. You don't get the same reward if you learn something easy, if you learn something hard. You should know it. The harder it is, the more you have to break your head to understand, the much bigger reward you get. That's, by the way, the cure for all the guys that ask for all the sins that I made, mainly about wasting seeds and sins with the women. So people wants to do all kinds of tikkunim. They have all the babot, all the Kabbalists that found a great way to make money. So they advertise all kinds of tikkunim. You come to me, I'll make a special tikkun to you, $1,800. If they see a poor guy, $180. They have all kinds of tikkunim. And they say to them, you have to roll in the snow, take off your shirt, roll in the snow, you have to fast, you have to do this. So the best correction for this, the best, is learning Gemara Be'iyun. That's the best correction. Why? Because the sperm, it's created in the brain. It's not something physical. It's come from the mind of a person. The more he's thinking about bad things, the more it's created. The more he's in Torah, the less it's created. The passion, the desire, all these things, it's all in the head. So therefore, since the sin started in the head, they have to go to the root where it started and fix it over there. Rolling in the eyes, all these things that some of them say, some of it comes from Christianity, all these tortures. It's not pure Judaism. The Torah said there's one day to torture yourself. When? Yom Kippur. If Hashem wanted us to torture ourselves every day, He wouldn't make Yom Kippur. You make all year Yom Kippur. All year. The more you torture yourself, the better it is. No. That's not the way. The way is to be productive, to learn, to work on your midot, to become a better human being, to know what is the main thing to do and what it's not so important. Today it's a salad. Nobody knows to tell what's more important than what. So sometimes you find people, they put all their energy in some rabbinical law. I'm not saying it's not important. Every mitzvah is important. With no exception. Every mitzvah, minhagim, everything is important. But everybody understands that still there's different levels of mitzvot. So one mitzvah that can give you billions of rewards, and one that will give you one reward. And it takes the same amount of time and the same amount of efforts. So who's going to be the fool who put all his efforts in one tiny mitzvah when he can do in the same time billion times better? Same thing in charity, same thing in learning, same thing in many, many different things. What's the proof that if a person can learn Torah in a very high level and he learns in a low level, that it's considered bitul Torah be'echut? Bitul Torah means neglecting the Torah, but neglecting not in quantity, neglecting in quality. So the question we have to ask, who's to say there is such a term, neglecting the Torah in quality? Neglecting in quantity, you can learn 10 hours, and instead every day you sit on the beach doing nothing. So fine, you dismissing the obligation of learning Torah. But if you finally learn, now you come and complain that I don't learn to a high level, what is it important? I still learn Torah. What's to say that I have to learn in the highest level that I can? The answer is, there is halacha in a Talmud, mevatlim Talmud Torah avur kriyat Megillah. So the question is, what's the news here? Megillah, it's also Torah. It's a part of the Tanakh. If we learn the story of Mordechai, Haman, Esther, Achashverosh, it's Torah. So what do you have to tell me? You close the Gemara in yeshiva, and you are permitted to go away for 1 hour to read the Megillah. What's the news? If I close the Gemara Kiddushin and I open the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, I need permission for that? This is Gemara, this is Gemara. This is Parashat Vayikra, this is Parashat Tzav. It's the same Torah. I learn here, I close here, I learn here. It's no problem. I don't need special permission for that. So from here we learn, there's many other sources. I'm just giving you one now. From here we learn that you needed special permission to close the Talmud to go to read Megillah, because it's much lower in quality. So if you want to lower the learning, the quality of your learning, you need special written permission from Hashem or from the Chachamim to do so. And that's why you got that permission in Purim to do it, because you have to learn to the highest level. By the way, you should also know one thing. Logically, if a person comes to yeshiva and he learns Talmud, Gemara, about money, about Shabbat, about brachot, about whatever he learns, Nida, is it going to make him a better human being? It's not going to make him a better human being. If he's proud, he's still going to stay a proud person. If he's stingy, because he learned the laws of Nida now, he's going to stop being stingy? Still going to be stingy. If he's lazy, still going to stay lazy. If he's angry, still going to be angry. So what benefit is this, all this learning? It's better to learn all day Musar, ethics. That's at least changing the person. Here, I met one person last week. Where did I meet him? I think it was here last Monday. I gave him 2 CDs. One of them was Packed to the Just. Complained to me about the problem. I told him, I just don't want to talk to you about anything before you listen to this series. I just met him now, before I came here. And he said, I have to admit to you that he's already making a complete change in my mind. How I look at things, how I feel. It's already like reborn. A few days, he's been listening in the car. An hour. How many hours he listened? 4 or 5 hours? Already changed him completely. Imagine he finished the whole 30 hours. So you see, the Musar makes a tremendous change. So why learning Gemara? Let's learn Musar all day. So the answer is that when you learn Torah in a high level, and it's very difficult, According to Kabbalah, it cleans the klipot from the neshama. Let me explain this musar, what it means. When a person makes sins, his pure soul is receiving layers like shell, like another layer and another layer and another layer. The more sins he makes, the more the soul is covered with impurity, which means the soul is buried in a mud. This is all spiritual. So when a person wants to connect with Hashem, it's very difficult for him. He doesn't see the light of God and the Torah, because it's so impure and it's covered with so much mud that it's very difficult. When a person learns Torah in a very high level, like Talmud, like Gemara, which is the highest level of learning, it cleans the klipot, it purifies the soul. Even though logically and technically, that has nothing to do with your personality, the issue that you learn or the subject that you learn. You're not learning ethics, you're learning some specific law about Shabbat or whatever it is. It's not supposed to make you a better human being, you'll be surprised. It gives a huge assistance to your soul, and the next time, when you learn only 1 hour musar, it will penetrate full force into your soul and make a huge change in your life. But without this, it will be a lot harder to connect with this musar. This is like antibiotic in a very high level. It's called Torah be'amal. That's what the Rambam said. The Rambam writes in Ilchot Talmud Torah, he said that after a person learns when he's a kid, he learns all the Chumash, so he knows all the chapters of the Torah, the written Torah. Then he knows all the halakha, daily halakha, what blessings to make on a food, how to behave on Shabbat, how to behave in holidays, how to behave in general, all the general laws. Once he knows how to be a Jew in a daily life, from now on, he has to learn only Gemara all his life. The Rambam writes. Because that's like reaching the top of the mountain. When he say all, means, of course, he's going to learn every day some musar. Even in the best yeshivot, they learn minimum 15, 20 minutes a day. Because a person needs this shot every day. But in general, this is what they do. You go to the highest yeshivot in the world, you never find them learning anything like this. They hardly open Navi, prophets, or anything like that. All day Talmud. Half a day Talmud be'iyun, which is knock you out. After 4 or 5 hours, your brain's starting to smoke in the level of learning. And then in the afternoon, after lunch, they learn a little bit in a lower level. It's called pkiut, more in a general way. And then on Shabbat, they go over all what they learn all weeks, because now it's already in your head. You must repeat at least 4 times every page in order for it to absorb good in your brain. You understand? So this is what they do. They learn, and basically after a while, this kind of people, they basically become a part of the Torah. Nothing in this world anymore interests them. Not vacation, not money, not jewelry, nothing whatsoever. It's amazing. A person is covered so much in Torah be'amal, nothing in the world interests him. Nothing. You come, you tell him, I'll take you to vacation, I'll get you, I'll buy you. If you move here and you live over here, we'll buy you a big house. He's holding his laugh. What everyone runs after so much, even people with yarmulkes, for him it's a joke. Like, what is he talking, this guy? I know a few of these people that besides Torah, en lahem klum. There's nothing besides Torah, and they're so deep in it that nothing else matters. Nothing else. They don't care about anything else. This is the ultimate happiness, by the way. There's not that many people like this in the world. In comparison to 7 billion people, how many people are in the light of God that they feel direct connection to Hashem and to His Torah? Because you have to remember one thing. Whatever I tell you, if it doesn't make sense to you, I understand you. Because I know where you're coming from. And I know I speak in hundreds of levels above the average people. But you have to only one thing, just to understand one thing. That who created the world? Hashem. Who created us? Hashem. Who created our soul? Same Hashem. And who gave us the Torah, which means instructions? Hashem. And Hashem told us that the greatest food for the soul is the Torah. That's it. End of story. Who knows better what's good for my soul? Me, my teacher, my parents, my neighbors, the Prime Minister, or God that created the soul? Who knows what gasoline to put in your Mercedes? Who knows better than the engineer, Adolf, the engineer in Germany, that made the engine of this Mercedes? I know better than him what gasoline to put in this Mercedes? No. I have to take his word for it. Why? He made the engine. He knows the secret there. If he tells me put the cheap gas, not the expensive one, and my logic tell me, why? I should put the expensive one is more clean. The car will drive better. But the engineer told me, no, put this gas. He knows something I don't know. Yes, it doesn't make sense to me. If he tells me take half a cup of water and mix it with every tank of gas, it looks completely foolish to me, but I take his word. Why? He's the engineer, not me. If God said the Torah is the greatest thing for a person, for the neshama, so that's the truth. How do I digest and understand that truth? That's another story. But first of all, that's the truth. Now I have to make adjustment that this truth would apply to me every second of my life. And those people who did that, go and look at their face. And then you see what happiness really is. Nothing else. Nothing else besides connection with Hashem and learning His Torah and enjoying. And all these billionaires, rich and famous and this and that, the controller of this world, none of them has 1% of their happiness. So something is done wrong in this world. What we think is the way to reach happiness apparently doesn't work. So Hashem says here like this. These people taking their children and burning them, Velo alta libi. I never said there's mitzvah to do such a thing. Lachen hinei yamim ba'im. You should know there will be days coming. And this kind of people who does these things, there will be bodies laying on the floor, which means they're all going to die and pay the price for their stupidity. And the birds will eat their bodies. That will be their end. That's right here, word by word. If you want to know where it is, Jeremiah 7. Read it over there. I didn't write the Tanakh. Baruch Hashem. I didn't write the Tanakh, and all day people criticize me. Imagine if I wrote it. What would happen? I'd be stoned to death a long time ago. Right now, only the mailman. I give you the mail that Hashem sent, reading it to you. And people get angry at the mailman. Imagine if the mailman is the one who wrote the letter. They'll break his head. So what happened here? This is the final word of Hashem in this chapter. Listen good. Al yitalel chacham bechokhmato. A wise person should never brag about his wisdom. Ve'al yitalel hagibor begvurato. And a hero should never brag about his strength. Al yitalel ashir beoshro. A wealthy person should never brag about his wealth. Ki im bazot yitalel hamitalel. Listen good. This is what's worth to brag about. There's one thing that a person can brag about. Only one thing. Not his wealth, not his wisdom, not his sharp brain, not his beautiful suit, not his nice, beautiful private jet or car or whatever it is. None of it gives you permission to brag one word. But there's one thing that Hashem allows you to brag about. What is it? Allowed. Allowed to brag.
Torah. Love of Hashem.
Ki im bazot yitalel hamitalel. Listen good. conclusion. Maybe it will change some people's life here tonight. השכל וידוע אותי. You can only brag if you would learn to know me. The more you learn about me, the more you're connected with me, the more you know how I operate, then you have permission to brag. I know Hashem. I know when He's merciful. I know when He's strict. I know when He will reward. I know when He will be punish. I know when He's happy from us. I know when He's upset from us. I know. I know the way He thinks. I know the way He operates. I know many, many things about Him that most people don't know. Then you can brag. You don't know Hashem, you cannot brag. You know other things, you can brag. You cannot brag. But if you know Hashem, He gives you permission to brag. At least you achieve something. Ki ani Hashem, because I am God, עושה חסד משפט, judging with kindness, וצדקה, and justice, בארץ, in this land, כי באלה חפצתי נאום השם. And this is what I'm interested in, the speech of God. This is the speech of God. So what, somebody asks you, what is God is interested in? So you tell him, he loves the Yankee stadiums very much. Or the football cards. Or the bars of Manhattan in a village. So if somebody asks you what Hashem is interested, so you say, in justice, in righteousness, in someone who learns Torah and he gets to know Hashem. That's what He allows us to brag about. You know, you have to understand, because for Hashem it's a very sensitive issue. If we see in the Torah that Hashem cannot stand proud people who brag about anything, cannot stand them. אותו לא אוכל, גבל לבב, אותו לא אוכל. Someone that is proud, I cannot stand him. אני והוא לא יכולים לדור באותו מקום. I cannot be in the same place with this person. Or Hashem cuts all the people who elevate themselves above the average, the public. There's all kinds of verses who show that Hashem cannot stand proud people. But over here, He gives us a special pass. You learn, you know me, you know what needs to be done. That's the only thing that gives you permission to brag. That means it's the only thing, it's important. Nothing else. No, there's no permission to brag in your house or your car or even how much tzedakah you give. The opposite, the more you hide it, the better it is for you. Not like all the people when they finally give a parochet, everywhere they write in the bottom, donation of this family. All these families, first of all, it's very nice of them that they donate. But when they come to the court of heaven after they leave this world, they'll be very, very, very upset that they wrote their name on their donation. They'll kill themselves from frustration. Why? Because when they see the reward that they were supposed to get, and the reward they're getting now, and they see the discount that Hashem did for them praising their name on their donation, they'll pull their hair off. They say, wow, what a fool I am for 5 words that they wrote. Look how much I lost. And what did I get? 10 people came to me in a shul and said, shkoach, shkoach, very good, chazak u'baruch. How long he was bragging about this? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 days. After a week, somebody remember he donates it? Nobody remember. You donate a dinner or lunch, whatever, to the shul. Next Shabbat, somebody remember? No. So anyway, the amount of profit you make here is very small and limited. But the amount of loss in the spiritual world is so tremendous. This is the words of the Zohar, not my opinion. The Zohar said that once a person receives honor for his charity in this world, it takes away almost all his reward. almost all his reward. I know some people that when I thank them, I feel that they suffer for their donation. One person even called me, take my name out of your film in the end, please, please. I had to do a whole master again. He didn't give up till he wanted to take his name out. You understand why? Humble. And also, you should also understand one thing. When a person gives and he hopes for a thank you or acknowledgement or that his name will be on a building, that means he doesn't give for the pure cause. He gives for the cause a little bit, but mainly for himself. He actually gives it to himself. It's an investment in himself because he wants to praise his name. When a person wants to stay anonymous, so that means nobody will say thank you to him. Only Hashem knows. That's an indication that this person is a true believer in God. And his donation was pure for the cause. And he did not expect anything for himself. That's why he did not want to publish his name. You know, one person gave him a $1 million donation to the shul, but he did not sign his name on a check. So the Gabbai called him. He said, sir, it's very nice of you to give such a donation, but we cannot cash the check because you didn't sign. He said, oh, no, Rabbi, I want to stay anonymous. You know, it reminds me, there was one rabbi, he went to a rich guy, and he said to him, I must receive $100,000 from you. I must. You gave to here, you gave to there. There's no reason why you don't give it to our yeshiva. No, come next week. No, yes, no. Back and forth. Then in the end, the rich man saw that this is like a leech. It's already on my vein. It's not going to leave me alone. So he said, you know what, let me just give him a check. And the check will bounce and he will get the point. So he wrote him a check, $80,000. So here, take 80 and leave me alone. He was very happy. He asked for 100, he got 80. So he came to the bank to deposit the check. They told him, there's no, funds are not good. So he knew the teller in the bank. So he told her how much he does have. She said, not enough, 80. So he took right away $20,000 from his account. He deposited in a rich man's account and cashed the check. That's the real true story that happened. And the rich man comes the next day to his bank account, zero, clean. And he took him to Beit Din. What do you think was the verdict? If you be the judge in a case like this, does he have to give him back the 80,000?
No. Check fraud. No.
Yes.
No.
Who say yes? Only you? Why? He didn't have intention to give, but not everything goes by intention in life. If you break someone's glass, you still have to pay, even though you had no intention to break it.
No, I don't think you should give them money.
Yeah.
I think you should say, brother, it's not good. You have to, the check is not valid. It's not good. What's going on?
So he has to give him back the 80,000?
No, at least he has to call and ask him what's going on here. So.
We didn't call. Now we are in court now. Obviously, if he would call, we wouldn't be in court.
No, because he wrote out the check intentionally, knowing that he has the money there. It's false writing.
So he has to give him back?
No, it doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to.
The money says,
I think
whatever
he
you
has to
take,
do that.
it's yours.
So the answer is, the law is, if you write a check, it's a legal document. It's an agreement. If you write it and give it to someone, he can take it and transfer it to another buyer, to another seller. Which means if you give me a check for $1,000, right? I can take the check and go to the supermarket and give it to him and buy things and with the piece of paper, which means that has a buying power, right? Just when you sign it, you don't have to cover right now. You can have tomorrow. It can be in a month. But that's an obligation to pay him $80,000. In Israel, if you write a check like this, you go to jail if you don't pay. Or they come take away things from your home. It's called Hotzah Lapoal. Once you sign on a check, that's it. That's why in Israel, they ask from you a security check. When you do a deal, you buy a house or you rent a house, they ask you for a security check that will not be deposited. In America, if somebody tells you, give me security check, you laugh. What a fool. What is he going to do with this check? But in Israel, even if you don't have the money in the account, it's the fact that you gave him a security check, I can sue you with that. You must pay the money, you cannot avoid it. So therefore, he couldn't get the money out. He couldn't. Now I'll tell you another story that happened. There was one crook that decided to work for an institution to collect money for them, and they were giving him 33% from the donations. So what happened? He collected some money. After a month or two that he was going from one rich person to another, so he collected $100,000, but he need to collect more than $1 million. So I still have a long way to go. So he went to the mayor. I don't know where it was, in New York or in a different place, somewhere here in America. He went to the mayor, and he said to the mayor, I want you also to give me donation. So the mayor gave him a small donation, a few $100s. So he said to the mayor, listen, I have all these checks. At least you can do something nice by taking all these small checks and give me one check from you instead of all this check. The mayor didn't see anything suspicious. So he took all the check, $2,000, $1,000, $5,000, and he wrote to him a check, $100,000, and he gave it to him. And on the check it said the mayor of New York, the mayor of Maryland, whatever it was. So now the rich man, the crook, started to go to all the rich people here and say, shame on you, you're giving me $5,000 donation. The mayor that is not even a Jew gave me $100,000 donation, look. And when the people saw it, so if the mayor invested so much in this institution, so people started to give him large checks. So he collected lots of money, and in the end he took all the money and ran away. He didn't give it to the institution, nothing. So everyone came to the mayor to sue him. That the mayor was a part of the fraud. Poor mayor. Not only this guy tricked him, in the end they're blaming him that he's a scam. You're together with him on a deal. So now they sue the mayor. What do you think? The mayor has to pay or no?
No.
Why not? The mayor didn't have intention to hurt anyone, but his act caused many people to lose their money.
He didn't give it to the people.
He has responsibility in it.
No, he doesn't.
You should have checked double time before giving the check.
Contract with one.
Who thinks the mayor is a part of the responsibility here?
Part of responsibility, I think.
In New Jersey, yes.
Baruch Hashem, you're not a judge. If the judge, wow, this mayor will be lost. The mayor is dismissed. But, there is one rule that we should know. There are certain things in life, the Torah say, that if you take your friend to a Jewish court, to Beit Din, you cannot collect from him. But you still chayav bedinei shamayim. In a heaven court, in a heavenly court, you're still obligated to pay. Over here, in a court in this world, they don't have the power to collect from you. That's why you dismiss. What is it like? Like sometimes they say on the news, the suspect was released because of no proofs, no evidence. That doesn't mean he's not guilty. There was not enough evidence to the prosecutor. They had to let him go. So over here, you cannot put him in jail, but in Shamayim, he's very guilty because Hashem knows if he did or not, if he's guilty or not. Just because you got away from the prosecutor and the court here, it doesn't mean you're dismissed over there. That's why.
If you're over here, if you're not found guilty, then you're not found guilty up there too. Did I say that?
No, if you're not found guilty here because the evidence proved that you're not guilty, then you're right. But if you're not found guilty because there was not enough evidence to prosecute you, you're still guilty. Just couldn't prosecute you. It's like they didn't catch you. You're able to run away. But really, you were not judged. It didn't get to a point that the judge saw all the evidence and judged you, because when they saw there's no case, they dismissed the case. You understand? Now the Gemara says like this. In Sefer Dvarim, in Deuteronomy 8, this is what it says. It says, "Amachilcha man bamidbar leman anotcha." I fed you the man, this heavenly bread, when the man was falling, like the snow outside right now. Right? It looked like snow, beautiful, falling, and people come pick it up, sweet, delicious, vanilla taste, all kinds of tastes. It melts in the mouth, and you don't have to go to the bathroom. How great life would be. You eat, 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 eat. You don't ever have to go to the bathroom, no stomach pain, no nothing. Only going in, not going out, like a mosquito. The only thing the only creature in the world that only gets in and nothing out is mosquito. You never heard of a bathroom, the mosquito. That's why when he went into Titus's brain, he sucked up his entire brain. And the Gemara said when they opened his brain, this mosquito became the size of a bird. Because he was growing and growing and growing, sucking his entire brain. It's all blood in the veins. So they're eating the man, and they say, what bracha they say on the man, you know? Shakol? Good. Hazak. המוציא לחם מן השמיים. Not המוציא לחם מן הארץ. I want to ask you a question. You know, in Israel they have Gush Katif. I think Gush Katif they grow in beach sand. But there are some places that they grow on water. You know that? They have a special thing on water, and they grow lettuce on water and things on water. So if they grow wheat on water, what bracha you make on the wheat? המוציא לחם מן הארץ או המוציא לחם מן המים? Huh? There's all kinds of techniques today. They want to avoid worms. So they develop all kinds of ways that it will grow without worms. So one way is beach sand. Beach sand does not attract insects. It's beach sand, it's like glass. So it's very good. The sand that the farmer use today brings a lot of worms. If you go in places, you dig a hole in the ground, you see all these huge worms that you can cut them in half and they still move. Each half goes to a different direction. It's very interesting. You can take this worm, chop it in the middle, and they fight between themselves. I don't know how. Did you ever see that or no? When the rain comes, it forces them to come out of the ground. I guess they get choked from the water or goes inside, so they come to refresh. They come out and you see them all the way on the road. Okay, I guess in Queens you never heard of it.
You go fishing.
Yeah, it's good for fishing. So Hashem say, I'm giving you this man, leman anotcha, because I'm strict with you. I'm actually torturing you. What kind of torture? What can be better thing than this? What do you mean torturing me? Amachilcha et aman leman anotcha. What's the pshat here, Rabbi? Well, if the man was tzapichit bidvash, it's delicious, no headache, no stomach pain, no problem, you don't feel heavy, it comes right into your tent. So what exactly a torture here?
Once you don't have it, maybe?
מה זה מאכילך מן במדבר למען ענותך?
And the same thing every day.
Yeah, but whatever they think, that's the taste.
Able to take to having emunah to know that you only eat that one.
What?
You have to have emunah to the next day, that mental torture, that you can only eat that one.
No, but what? Come on.
No, to know the next
What's to worry about emunah? If you see every day it falling, after 30, 40 days, that's it. Your fear that it won't fall tomorrow, it's gone. You're afraid that the sun will not rise tomorrow? You got used to it that he will, right? But if sometimes he wouldn't, every once in a while it messed up, you know, then you have that fear. Maybe tomorrow, it's one of these days. We're going to freeze or whatever happened. Or they cancel the game, you know. Some people pray that the rain will not come because they want to have bar mitzvah outside in the backyard. They want to do, whatever. And some people pray there won't be rain because they're going to miss the game. Both of them pray for the same thing. Both of them put efforts. One pray for good thing, one pray for bad thing. So it says like this, listen good. Rav Ami veRav Asi once said, someone who has his bread in his basket is not like someone who doesn't have the bread in his basket. And one say, אינו דומה מי שרואה ואוכל למי שאינו רואה ואוכל. A blind person that cannot see the food cannot enjoy the food like someone who sees the food. Rav said, from here we learn that the blind people, no matter what they eat, they don't enjoy, and they never feel full. They're not fulfilled from the food. So a part of eating is actually seeing the food, also smelling the food. It's a combination. If you see and smell, then you enjoy the taste. If you take away the vision and the smell, you don't feel taste. 15 years ago, one person came to me in Sukkot, was in my sukkah in Shabbat, and he said, we had on the table, we have Coca-Cola, orange soda, Sprite, ginger ale, and seltzer. 5 different kinds of sodas. And everybody agreed that it's completely different tastes, right, between one to another. So he said, if I close your eyes with a handkerchief, and you close your nose, and I'm going to let you drink without you seeing what you're drinking, you won't be able to tell the difference between these 5 drinks. So I told him, are you normal? I'm not going to be able to tell the difference between Coca-Cola and seltzer? He said, you want to try? I say, yeah, let's try. There are certain things in life that a person never pays attention to. So I say, okay, let's try. So they closed my eyes and my nose, and I just couldn't tell the difference. Try it. I just couldn't tell the difference between seltzer and Coca-Cola. Because once you take away the smell and the vision, you don't taste. It's very interesting. I have a friend, he had an accident and he lost the sense of his smell. He see, but he cannot taste his food. Everything he cook, he has to call someone to tell him if it's salty or it's too sweet. Why? Because he cannot smell. One more thing I saw, I learned, Baruch Hashem, a lot from my guests over the years. Good things and bad things. So one guest came to my house, 3. And they say, do you want to see how you sit on a chair and we pick you up with this finger? We pick up the chair, all 3 of us. We pick you up in the air all the way up to the ceiling with this, what is it, pinky? Pinky. So 6 pinkies can pick you up. I'm not exactly a heavy guy or too big, but even an average guy to pick up with 6 pinkies with the chair also weighs something. To pick him up like this in 1 second, I say, it cannot be. So you want to see? Now, when a person sits in your living room and they say, you want to see, you begin to believe, no? Especially if they speak with confidence. So I say, yeah, I want to see. So they say, sit on a chair. So I sat on a chair. And they say, we're going to go around you in circles. This is all in Hebrew. We're going to say something, and you have to say something. We're going to say, אנחנו חזקים ואתה חלש. We are strong and you are weak. And you have to say, אני חלש ואתם חזקים. I am weak and you are strong. And we are going around you 7 times. And you're going to repeat like us. And then we'll pick you up in a second. I say, okay, let's do it. So they go around. Baruch Hashem Shabbat, nobody filmed it. So they go around me, they say, we are strong and you are weak. We are strong and I say, I'm weak and you are strong. And just when they finished 7 rounds, they picked me up in less than a second. My head is almost by the ceiling. Like this. One is pinky was under my knee, the other one is under my other knee, and under the chair, and 2 from the back, like this. Up. 1 second, I was up in the air, and they kept me up. It's all in the head. It's amazing. The power of the body, it all comes from the brain. So that means, depend how you reprogram the brain. One time I was driving my car, and I saw that the car has, in a certain speed, it vibrates. It wasn't a brand new car, but it was not an old car. Something in transmission was suspicious. So I say to myself, probably this transmission is finished here. You don't have transmission. Basically, the car is worthless. So I'm driving like this for 2-3 months. One day I get a letter from Honda. Dear customer, please bring your car. It's a recall. We have to reprogram the transmission. Reprogram the transmission. So maybe that's the problem. Now we continue to read the letter. They say it came to our attention that some of these models, when you drive 30 miles an hour, it creates a vibration in a car. Exactly what my problem is. So I go there, I said to the guy, what is this? He said, we have to reprogram the computer. What's computer? It's few words, few things. What does it have to do with this massive machine transmission? So you see, few codes in a computer changing this huge, massive car, the entire car, either it drive or not, from whatever they put. Same thing like here. You talk to your brain, the brain make adjustment, and the strength and the energy and happiness and whatever you have, it's affected by what goes into your brain. You understand what's happening here? That's why a person who is happy hardly ever gets sick. Person is happy, his immune system works 100 times better than someone who's depressed and upset. Every little thing makes him sick because his immune system doesn't work. Now, why the immune system don't work? Because there's a stress in the brain, it's worry. So bottom line, from all this beautiful speech, what's the cure for all sicknesses in life? Emunah, faith in Hashem. A person has strong emunah, nothing can touch him. Doesn't have emunah, worry, sad, depressed all day, sour face, and that's an outcome. I want to ask you a question. When we think, where the thoughts and the knowledge and the memory and the intelligence and the wisdom, where are they in our body? In the brain or in the heart? When you think, what part of your body think?
Develops in the heart. It starts in the brain.
When you say a person is smart, where is his wisdom? In his brain or in his heart?
The brain is a calculating machine. The heart is the one that thinks and wants.
In the world I grew up in, which apparently is the world you grew up in, every teacher I ever had or every science book I ever read, everyone referring to the wisdom as a part of the head, the brain, right? Sharp brain, not sharp brain. But according to the Torah, when Hashem wants to compliment a person that is smart, it doesn't say Chacham Rosh, it says Chacham Lev. So maybe the wisdom is in the heart. Who say the wisdom is in the brain? Maybe it's in the heart. Now you come and say, how can it be in the heart? Here is a heart. Looks like a piece of liver in a butcher shop. Where is the intelligence over here? So I will answer you, okay, let's take the brain of the cow. It looks like a brain of a person or chimpanzee. And you telling me how can the intelligence be in this piece of meat? And I will ask you, how can it be in this piece of meat? Where is the intelligence? So the answer really is that it's none in none of them. It's all in a soul. It's all in a soul. And the soul sits in the brain. But it fills up the whole body. But it's really mainly in the head. That's the reason the Torah said that when a person dies, at least in the old days, that's how it used to be. When a person dies, where he died, he become the owner of this lot. Why? Amet konet mekomo. He went now in the middle of the forest and fell and died right here. He entitled to get buried over there. Why? Today we have cemeteries and people buy graves and it's all organized. We're talking in the wild days. that you're in the middle of nowhere, you die there, they dig a hole there, they bury you, they put a stick there, that's it. So the point is, that's where the body fell. But what happened if somebody chopped his head off? And the head rolled to the right and the body fell to the left. So now the head is 5 steps to the right and the body is 5 steps to the left. Where do you bury him? Where the body or where the head is? For instance, if the body fell in a place where the date is Shabbat, and the head fell in a place where the date is Sunday.
What?
Do you know that there's one line in the world that it's called Kav HaTa'arich, the line of date? It's somewhere in the middle of the ocean, near Japan, over there. So technically, if you have a boat now, a big boat, and in the middle of the boat there is a chair, there is a table. You, your wife, and the children sitting on the table. If you cut the table in the middle, you sit on Shabbat and your wife is in Sunday. It's not a joke. It's reality. If you don't believe me, I'll send you to this place. I'll check where it is. You go with your boat, you park over there on Shabbat. And when you want to smoke, you go 2 steps to the left, you smoke, and you come back to Shabbat. You put your jeans on, you come here, you smoke, you put your suit, you're back. Just the problem would be, what happens if in the middle of tefillah, you go over there, now you got mixed. Should I continue the prayer of Shabbat, or I have to say the prayer of Yom Rishon? Over here it's Rosh Chodesh, over here it's Shabbat. Over here it's Yom Kippur. If you're hungry, you can go 2 steps over there, eat something, and go back to Yom Kippur. You never heard of it? Yeah, it's very interesting, no? Very interesting. It's called Kav HaTa'arich. So what happened if the head fell over here and the body fell over there? There's big nafkamina la'alacha. It's going to change the law. Why? If we go by the body, his family would have to sit only 6 days Shiva. If we go by the head, they'll sit 7 days. Because depend when Shabbat is. Right? It can change a lot of things. So the answer is, we go after the head. Gemara said, the head, arosh urosh la'evarim. It's the head of all organs. But the body is the majority. That we always go by the majority. So why we follow the head? So it's 5% from the body, it's the head, 10%. The answer is, because without the head, all the other body is worthless. The head makes everything function. It's the captain of the boat. So we see, by the way, that majority, it's not by the size, the majority is by quality, not quantity. That's, by the way, the law in Shulchan Aruch. Rabbi Yosef Karo, when he wrote the Shulchan Aruch, he took 3 rabbis, Rif, Rambam, and the Rosh, 3 big rabbis, and he went by the majority between 3 of them. 2 against 1, he ruled like the 2. 3, he rules like the 3. Always by the majority, with some exception to the rule. So everybody asked, why he only took 3 rabbis? There were 300 at least. Why he did not include Rashi? Rashi is an angel, he's a giant. Why he did not include the Tosafot, the Ran, all the other giants that we have? Why he only took 3? So the answer is, he took the top 3, and from the top 3, he went 2 against 1, and this is the majority that the Torah meant. But the Ashkenazim, for instance, they disagree with this shita. They go, some of their psakim, like the Tosfot, like the Rashi, because they had it in tradition from Europe. They were their chief rabbis over there. So they stayed with what they had prior to the writing of the Shulchan Aruch. But Rabbi Yosef Karo says what the Torah meant, acharei rabim la'atot, follow the majority, it did not mean in quantity. It meant in quality. What do you think? When Hashem say you always follow the majority, did he mean bodies 20 against 15, so we go with the 20 rabbis, or he meant quality. Quality means one rabbi can win against 1,000 if it's in a higher quality than each one of them. That means quality. So do you think Hashem meant that one rabbi would say not allowed and 1,000 would say you allowed, and we will go with the one against 1,000? Or Hashem meant the 1,000 will win against the one, even though each one of them is a little bit less than this, but all of them together will win against him? What do you think Hashem meant?
1,000 will win.
So I will give you a proof that the one will win. I'll give you a proof. If a person has a complicated brain problem, so there are many local doctors in the hospitals that are dealing with brains, but none of them is considered a world expert. Many of them knows to an average level. And then there's one special Japanese doctor that travel all over the world for very special problematic cases. He is considered the greatest specialist about brains in the world. And all the local rabbis of New York say to do an operation, and he examined the patient and he said there's no chance to do an operation, we can only make him a damage. Who would the family of the patient will follow? The opinion of the 500 or hundreds or 700 doctors all over New York State, or the opinion of this world specialist who came and said no? Specialist. Why? Because it doesn't go by quantity. It goes, he knows what they don't know. Each one of them spoke up to 70% of knowledge about brain. He speaks about from a point of 90% knowledge. The extra 20% that he has and they don't have changed the entire picture. Therefore, it doesn't matter how many. Same thing in halakha. In halakha, if you're not an expert, you can fall into a big trap. What's the big trap? Sometimes you read many, many books of many, many rabbis who lived in the last 100 years. Each one of them is a holy person and a big Talmid Chacham. We can dream to be 1% of each one of them. There's no question about that. But when you write that 100 of them saying about one subject the same things, and then you find somebody who lived a little bit before them, let's say 100 years before them, and he say the opposite of them, and you go him against the 100, is it really 100 against 1, or it's 1 against 1?
1 against 1.
Why it's 1 against 1?
Because the 100 people have the same thought.
So
All the thoughts are the same.
each one of them think the same thing, so it's 100 against 1. 100 decide that this is right, and 1 decide that this is right.
It's equal to 1 thought.
You're almost close to the answer. It's true that all of them has one opinion, but the question is, did each one of them reach his opinion based on his own learning and investigation, or each one of them based his opinion based on the previous rabbi that he was learning from? That's the question. In Torah, we have a rule. Every Talmid Chacham, before he writes, he checked what was said about it before me. Hazon Ish, Ben Ish Chai, Rav Moshe Feinstein, all these huge giants. He checked each one of them what they say. We don't have an ego. We all acknowledge the fact that they are a million times better than us, the previous generations. So let's see everything they say, and I reach my verdict. So what happened is, if I'm able to prove that the first one 100 years ago said something that I can contradict and bring a better proof that the Torah really meant something else than this, I can challenge what he says. If I'm winning the argument against him, all the 100 who copy from him falls with him. You understand? So it's really not 100, it's 1. That's why the Torah say, in Sanhedrin, there were 71 Chachamim, and when they had an argument, everyone has to be present. Not 20 here, 50 there, 5 over there, and 10 over there. No. They have to be all face to face, that whatever you say, they can challenge you at the spot. If one lives in Russia, and one in Japan, and one in Israel, and there's no telephone, Whatever he say, if he would know what the other one say, maybe he will change his mind. Therefore, it's a very problematic thing. So it has to be face to face. Face to face. That's why today you cannot go by Acharei Rabim La'atot. It's really, this law is not realistic. That's why today every person has to have his own rabbi. And he tells him what to do. And what happens if the rabbi made a mistake? You have nothing to worry about. We follow the instructions of the Torah. What does the Torah say? Aseh lecha rav, v'tzeh min hasafek. Hashem doesn't expect you to be a doctor to write yourself your own medicine. No. And He doesn't expect you to go to medical school now 8 years until you know what pills you need. Somebody did it already. Use him. What happened if the doctor made a mistake? He made a mistake. In this world, you die. But with Hashem, you don't worry. You have nothing to worry. You have a special policy. Right? Since I told you to listen to Him, if He make a mistake, you are totally dismissed. That's the difference. If your doctor make mistake, chas v'shalom, you can be paralyzed for the rest of your life. If the rabbi made mistake, you just made a big sin. But it's not your fault. Why? I did what you told me. You told me go to the Chacham, no? The Chacham told me aloud. So a person ate something he wasn't supposed to eat on Pesach, and in the end he found out when he comes to Shamayim that he ate chametz on Pesach, but the rabbi told him to do it. He has an insurance policy, so why do you worry so much?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you get this list of all his sins since he didn't have a chance to do teshuva? Like if he dies because of the doctor, and since he had another 20 years to it, there's Hashem, like, forgive him for everything?
I love the people like you, that every string that they find, they just grab to it. How I'm going to save myself? Here is a way to get saved. Tell me, I want to ask you a question. If somebody hit him with a car on the street and he died when he's 20, so now he made 7 years sins. So now when he comes, he says, Hashem, you cannot judge me. Look, I was about to do tshuva, but because of this driver I did not, so blame him.
Hashem didn't say listen to the driver. You said Hashem, listen to the doctor.
Yeah. No, Hashem didn't say listen to the doctor. Hashem said listen to the rabbi. Yeah. But that's okay. You also have to listen to the doctor. If he went to a school in Israel or in America, you should listen to him. But if he's from Zimbabwe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, there's all kinds of doctors. You have to check where they got their diploma from. Be'ezrat Hashem, next Monday, it's Leil HaSeder, and the following week, it's a holiday. So we're going to miss each other. Next time we see each other, I believe it's in 3 weeks. No matter when, please, 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 every day before you come here, check on Monday morning or Monday afternoon on my website on events. Don't call me, don't text me, just check on events. You look, if the lecture is on, it's on. If not, it say no lecture. That's it. If you want to text me, fine. But you don't need to, because it's going to be right there on the website. Thank you very much. Chag Sameach, everyone.